There. My name is Jaiye Bynoe on the Jayman Show, which is on WBCA 102.9 FM, Boston's local community radio station today. My guest is Elizabeth Lackey. Hey, good to see you today.
It's great to see you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Okay, so yeah, I'm so glad we got to meet this way, and I hear you're a singer in a podcast like me. So how'd that come
I
about?
know, I am. My best friend and I have the podcast Like the Queens, and we talk about dating, our lives, and all the crazy things in between.
Oh, I see. Wow, and you're also a singer. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I got my degree in musical theater from Catawba College, and then of course the pandemic hit, and I was out of work for about a year and a half. But how I met my best friend is we both got cast in a singing gig in Wisconsin, and so we toured around the state of Wisconsin for 3 months, singing together with another girl. I love them both so much, and our other friend Madison, who is with us, she's like, "You two are hilarious, and the things you talk about." And the horrible dating stories you have with boys, you need to start a podcast about this. And we're like, okay, might as well. And so I have a best friend who I sing with and I now podcast with as well.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. And into acting as well?
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Oh, sorry. I asked, are you also into acting?
I am. So I've started theater when I was in seventh grade. But in high school, I started doing film and television as well. And then I did a music video just a year ago and my first SAG movie a year ago as well. And right now, I just got cast this past week to be in a brand new musical that's coming to Charlotte, North Carolina. It's called Water Ink, the musical. It's a rock musical, and I'll be playing the role of Demi. And I think we're going to do it like a concert version. And we're going to different venues, and we're going to be putting on this musical at these different venues, bringing awareness to climate change.
Oh, wow, that's good to hear. That's wonderful to hear. Is it?
Exactly. Make a difference with your art. That's the plan, you know?
I definitely agree. I think all artists should try and make a difference to the music or creativity. Because that's what
Exactly.
it's about right now. Yeah. Is there any reason? Is there any way that this show come to Boston so anybody can people can see it in Boston?
I know they're trying to extend the show through October. We start shows in April, and I guess depending on where they want to bring the show to, if Boston is an idea that they have, then there's a chance it could be. Right now, it's going to be touring in like the Charlotte area. But if I find out, I'll totally let you know.
Okay, this is wonderful. Wow.
Absolutely.
So, what made you want to become an actress and a singer? What inspired you becoming get into that your journey of singing and acting?
Well, the funny thing is, when I was in elementary school, I had a friend who started taking opera singing lessons, and I'm like, that is so cool. I didn't know you could take opera singing lessons. And so I was like, hey, mom, I really want to take singing lessons. And so I started taking singing when I was probably in fourth grade, I want to say. And I started working with a lady at my church, and each month we would work on different genres of music. Because as a musical theater performer, you got to be able to sing any different genre at any given point. And so I started doing that. And then I started acting when I was in seventh grade. My first production was Annie. But what ultimately made me decide to pursue singing, acting, dancing, all of that, the arts, was when I was in high school. I won the North Carolina Theater Conference High School Play Festival Best Actress Award. And my mom looked at me and she said, Elizabeth, you don't have to be anything else. Like, you can be an artist and still change people's lives. Because I originally wanted to go into like the medicine field and try to help people around the world through that. And my mom looked at me and told me, you can be an artist and still make an impact and change in people. And so because of my mom telling me that, I changed my career path and like completely started looking at different schools when I was a junior in high school, and decided, you know what? I can do this. I can be an actor and change people's lives.
Yeah, sure. I definitely agree. Yeah, so
Yeah.
absolutely. I think anybody can do it. They want, as long as they work kind of achieve and what kind of the work and they can be and that they want to be. I definitely agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's just so wonderful to hear. So what advice can you give artists that want to be a singer or actor? What advice can you give them?
Wow. Looking back, I'm saying this to like my younger self. So if I could tell my younger self this, or any other person who's like, should I pursue singing? Should I pursue acting? But don't ever give up or feel like your talent or compare your talents to other people. Like, regardless of what your skill set is or how far you've been training, you still have something valuable to offer. And you shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm not like Lady Gaga, so I can't be like a pro singer or anything like that. I think it's very important just to know that your talents are just as valued and just as important out in the industry.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah. So what was the audition process like for you to get this role? What was it hard to audition or?
So I got an email back in December because I have an account on Backstage, and the director emailed me and he goes, I really like what I've seen on there, and I would love for you to audition for this role. And I was like, absolutely. And so I did a self-tape audition, which is like predominantly what's been happening, especially since the pandemic, is self-tapes. And so I recorded myself singing a 32 bar cut of Take Me or Leave Me from Rent, because that's also a rock musical. And I sent that in, and about 3 weeks later, I heard back and they wanted to see me in person for a callback. So this past Sunday, I drove to Cornelius, and I was with the composers, the two composers of the musical, and the director in a studio. And I sang for two different parts. And then 2 days later, I got the email getting offered a role in it.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, because I know,
Thank you.
congratulations. That's good to hear, Yeah. Uh,
Thank you.
I'm,
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're able to, get out there and do that, because that's what I did in my podcast, try and just do it, and see what happens, Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. You never know who you're going to meet. It's so fun.
Yeah. So have you had a chance to meet any celebrities since you've been in the business now?
About 2 years ago, it's really funny. I did my first NASCAR commercial, and I'm not a NASCAR girl, and I've never watched a race. And so I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll do this thing. And I was in like a concert, kind of, that's what like the vibe was. And I didn't know who this random man was that they told me to stand next to. And so I'm just hanging out, dancing with this guy on set, and we're talking, having normal conversations. And it turns out I was dancing and hanging out with Dale Earnhardt Jr. for this commercial. And so I was like, oh, okay, great. I also worked as a brand ambassador for Bleacher Report for All-Star Weekend. And I met a lot of people there. And again, I'm not into sports, so I can't exactly tell you who I met. But I've definitely met like sports celebrity people.
Oh,
Oh, and I worked on a Hallmark movie, and I didn't get to speak with her, but I worked backstage alongside of Kristen Chenoweth.
oh, really? But you weren't able, but you weren't able to talk to her.
No, she was busy filming, and I was working as keeping the children quiet. I was a PA on set.
Okay, I see. Okay, well, that's wonderful. You got to work on some movies. That's wonderful. That's
Yeah. It's important to have like a well-rounded education when it comes to anything in the entertainment business. So besides acting, I've worked as like an AD, a PA, sound. I've done everything I possibly could with film and TV.
I definitely that's good to hear because I actually just finished college. I got my associate degree in liberal arts, so now I'm going to get my bachelor's degree in media and film.
Oh,
Yes.
congrats. That's awesome.
Because you're right. It's supposed to, as far as me being an actor and singer producer, you should have an education, right? College education, because
I do feel like I learned so much from my education, especially my professors that made me take classes outside of acting and singing and dancing. I just finished flipping a table. I found a Goodwill and like able to sell it because after I like did renovations to it and all, and I would never been able to do that if I didn't learn stagecraft and stuff in my college.
yeah, I definitely agree because college just can prepare you for the future, so it's so important.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely agree, Yeah, yeah. So what other projects are you working on right now? Do you have any coming up this year besides the movie? Any other projects coming up?
With this musical that I'm doing right now, I'm booked through July, and so I can't take any other projects unless it's in the daytime or on one of my off days because I have rehearsals 5 days a week starting this month.
Mhm.
But after July, I don't know who knows what's going to happen. I'm constantly auditioning, and if they don't extend my contract through October, then I'll be auditioning for another job again. But I also have my podcast, like the Queens, with my best friend, and we've been looking at working with a record label this past month and possibly doing a show, a touring show come 2023 and like opening for like comedians and stuff like that in the new year. So that's something we're hoping to do and looking forward to for 2023. And then I also have my blog, Living Life with Liz, where I write about like the travels and everything I'm doing and things about my life. So like there's other creative outlets I have outside of singing and acting.
Okay, wonderful. I'd love to talk to you more about the record label, after the interview, possibly, and I'd love, and maybe talk about being on your podcast,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a blessing. So, I guess my next question to you is, where do you see yourself years from now? Toward the future.
Oh my goodness. I think about that all the time. I want to continue being creative in whatever way, whatever aspect that is, whether that's podcasting, blogging, acting. And I really hope to be able to maintain that as a full-time job in 5 years and be able to support myself as a creative. That is the main goal for the next like few years, 5 years.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
I definitely see great things for you. Definitely, I can't wait to, definitely see it. We're so glad we got to meet. I think it's gonna be a blessing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was so wonderful getting to meet and talk with you as well.
Yeah, and okay, so so my next question is how did COVID affect you? Everything being shut down, how did that affect you?
So I was a senior in college when it happened, and so it of course ended my senior year a little bit early, and I was finishing my education online in musical theater. But it took away all aspects of being an actor for a year and a half, and I didn't get to do that. And it made me change a lot as a person and find my self-worth in other things besides being an actor. And it made me realize and being an actor isn't the end all be all, and you need to find other ways to be a creative and happy person. Because all my life I just did theater, I just did acting and singing, and all of a sudden that was taken away from me as an option, as a career path for that year and a half. And so because of COVID doing that, I was able to find other ways of being creative, like creating a blog and a podcast. And after looking at it from the outside perspective and coming out of COVID like that, I am thankful I found other ways and other things that make me happy outside of acting and singing.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's so wonderful to hear. Yeah.
Thank you.
So besides being an actress and singing, what do you like to do for fun and travel?
Oh, I love traveling. I would love to buy a camper and just like live on the road and go different places like that. I love watching horror movies and horror TV shows. Like that's my thing. I spend a lot of time with my family. That's important to me, especially when one day I could be in North Carolina and the next day I'm in Wisconsin singing for a few months. I don't know where my life is going to take me. So I really make sure I enjoy that time with my loved ones when I'm not singing and acting. And then I also love to, like right now, I'm flipping furniture as like a side hustle. I love podcasting. I love like all sorts of things. I try to find lots of things to keep me busy in my free time.
This sounds wonderful. Sounds like you're doing great. And
thank you.
I'd love for us. Definitely love for us to meet. Sometime. Yeah.
Absolutely, that would be great. Yeah. If I ever find myself in Boston, I'll let you know.
Oh, okay, definitely. So, okay, so where are you at right now? Are you in North Carolina right now?
I am. I'm right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, okay. See, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how's the weather down there? Is it good?
Today was actually really beautiful. It was a nice day, but we've had snow a little bit the past few weeks. Yeah, but right now it's a beautiful day out.
Yeah. I know what you feel. I don't like the snow. I don't like the snow either. I'd rather be in Florida or California myself.
Yeah, I understand. I'm ready for the warmer weather.
Yeah, me too. That's it. I always say the warm weather is my friend. Not the snow.
It is. I understand that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, well, this is so wonderful, getting to meet like this, and learn more about you. And I look forward to seeing your show. Hope it comes to Boston, So yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It was so nice to meet you as well.
You too. And so I'm gonna stop the okay. And before we go, how can all my fans find you on social media? Are you on social media?
Yeah, on Instagram, it's Elizabeth_Lackey. And I'm also on Facebook. I think it's pretty much the same, just like Elizabeth Lackey. You can find me through there. I also have a TikTok, and it's the same thing, Elizabeth_Lackey. And my podcast and blog are both connected to my Instagram account as well.
Okay, well, this is so wonderful getting me and talking to you, and I and thank you for coming on my show today. It was a blessing for us to talk and meet, and I
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me.
and okay, so I'm almost stop the interview, and I was hoping we could talk about the record label, so this way it's not on.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just
Yeah.
okay, here we go.